Hey everyone, this is the Kubeflow Notebooks working group meeting for the 5th of March 2026. Uh, we have lots of components and we're getting close to a release. We've got Notebooks 2.0 Alpha, we've got Notebooks 1.0, and all the other auxiliary components for that, and the dashboard as well now. So I won't do too much as usual. I just want to link everyone to this Notebooks 2.0 guide if you don't know what it is. It's a full rewrite of Kubeflow Notebooks. There's this issue here. It introduces what it is. It's 3 major components. If you're experienced in either any of these areas, please reach out on the Slack under Kubeflow-notebooks and tag me or Andy or someone else, or just say hi with what you've got in terms of experience or feedback, and we can help you find tasks to work on. It's always helpful, especially if you're a user. Let's keep going. So we're getting very close to release, so I'm just going to start with that. So technically, we did miss some of these dates. We have everything we need mostly to cut the dashboard one and the notebooks one, and today I will do that. I will actually do that today. It should, I think it should work first time for the dashboard, hopefully, fingers crossed. Notebooks shouldn't have much changes, so it should be fine. It's just changing in the manifest repo, so we need to let them actually fix that. There's a couple of things that could have broken that we noticed when we were about to cut the release that we needed to pull into the dashboard manifests, which because they've been making changes in the upstream manifest repo that would have conflicted with our things. So we hopefully I wrote a list of them, fix those. The goal still remains to get an Alpha 0 out for V2, release that version for V1, and the breaking change with no significant feature changes for dashboard, which is profile control and everything. And the reason it's breaking is because you have to delete the manifest before you can upgrade. You can't just upgrade them in place. Okay, so other than that, is anyone worried about anything on the release of not these two? Because this is really, I think, Andy and me, these two, and Christian. Whereas this V2, is anyone worried about anything that will prevent us getting an alpha out? I mean, I know we've got a list of tasks to do, but anyone want to raise anything right now? And when I say getting it out, I mean cutting it before 16th of March. So 10 days in terms of feature completeness and also shipping the manifest. So what I'm saying is we need to, or even before then. So really we need to cut, I probably need to cut a manifest actually this weekend, probably for the V2 alpha. So what do we think we can get in before maybe Monday or Tuesday? So what do we think we can get in before, let's say Tuesday in terms of actual code? We might be able to cut one after that if we need to. Yeah, anyone? Yeah.
I think
Yeah, Matthew.
Enrico, if you want to go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, just I wanted to ask because I checked the PRs for the Gateway API. So of course we would be very keen to get like the Gateway API into the final release. Do you think it's possible?
Um, what my thing about that is I don't think there's a need for it to get into 2603 because 2603 won't enable it by default. You know what I mean? So like we will cut a release for you with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I almost kind of don't want it to be in the first release just because it's a new feature that could break. Uh so like I get what you're saying. Do you want to elaborate on is there any particular reason why it needs to be in 2603? Like why can't it just be we cut a
Yeah,
release
I mean,
that's
like in general, because we wouldn't like to wait for this feature to be, available on the next release, right? Like on 6 months. So we kind of like we have done already like some bunch of work and invested some time to actually enable this in order to enable ECO ambient mesh. So like for us, it's quite critical to have this feature in. I understand maybe like a
I,
23.
I I think I think Matthew's point here, Enrico, is that we will get this merged. It's just there's just more work than me, Matthew, and Christian can reasonably handle getting this release cut. So it's like we have to get something for the Kubeflow reference platform release. Once we are whole there, we will absolutely pick back up that PR that Kimonis raised, and we can still release a notebooks release. Just it won't be part of Kubeflow reference platform. You just kind of like update the tag on what package you're pulling from the GitHub
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
assets.
So we are looking into having like a 1.11.1 release.
Exactly. Yeah. Component releases can happen at a separate schedule. So it's like we just have a lot of pressure to get something in for this Kubeflow platform release. So we need to like hit that deadline. But once we're good there, then yes, the thought would be we can then get this merged and cut a new release that's a notebook V1 component specific release. And then you could always just like refer to that
This,
to include, but it would be published as its own release, just not. And then that would be obviously what is picked up in the 2609 platform release, but
right, right.
we will not wait for 2609 to make that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. That would be both for dashboard and for notebooks, right? Because there are two
Mhm.
PRs, right? Like one is on the dashboard side, and the other one is on the notebook side.
My
I have
biggest
not looked at the ambient PR yet. Like I'm very familiar with Gateway API, so I feel good about that PR in notebooks. The whole ambient thing, I'm just speaking for myself, not Matthew or anyone else. I just haven't even looked at the dashboard one yet because I just don't even know. Like I know what the ambient mode is, like not a non-sidecar pattern, but like how to review and approach and test that, I'm kind of totally lost on. So I just haven't looked at it yet because I'm gonna have to do a lot of research to understand what I'm looking at.
Also for dashboard, I mean, so getting something in is an interest. So cutting the patch, doing it as a patch release, I'm a little bit worried about. But also for dashboard's going to be with us a long time. So whatever we do in it needs to also work with Notebooks V2. Um, and we probably will have a dashboard V3 at some point. But what I mean is like, so I wonder if we need to review that one more carefully. And the thing is, it's like patch release, can it add a feature? Maybe. If it's an experimental feature, maybe. It's a bit weird. If it's completely disabled by default, it might be fine. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's fine. Like that's fine. I don't think it's you have to enable it. Like the way that it was coded, I think it leaves alongside sidecar. So
yeah, the only one that's
right.
like
There
dashboard.
has been already like some discussion on this one, I think,
Yeah, I know that
because
Komodos rebased that PR after we did all the refactors of the dashboard manifest. In terms of getting that out.
yeah, I'm sure. Oh no, you commented on the one on the dashboard, right, Matthew? I see.
He rebased it as well. Yes, I'm just like so trying to get it in before. I don't know. We'll have to see, right? That's all I'm saying. Like this one.
I mean, look, I don't mind us, like that for the 23 reference, right? Like the sorry, the 2603
Because it's not
reference.
going to be
As long as
net.
the release for this emergent this PR, it doesn't come like in 6 months, 3 months. I would, it has been like an open stream that we have for a while now. Yeah.
Yeah, getting it to so cutting an actual release of Notebooks 12 would not happen. Yeah, anyway, I think it's possible that it does. I think we don't have lots of time. At worst, we will make sure that somewhere there is an experimental tag or something that you can pull from that has it in it. You know what I mean? Like that's
Okay.
what I'm saying. So there'll be an
Well, I think
official.
that also Kimonos was, I think, using like the experimental like prefix, to make things, like orthogonal.
Yeah. So what I'm more saying is like there'll be I don't know how we'll distribute it, but we should have an experimental dashboard and notebooks V1 that support Gateway API. That's kind of what I'm saying. And V2 will also need that, but that's going to be a part of the main branch. But um, okay, let's just move on. Okay, so any other comments about that? Anyone? But we'll try. If not, we'll cut a patch release or an experimental release candidate or something that has it in it, so you can pull from that and actually test it.
Okay, right.
Cool. But yeah, okay. It definitely won't be enabled by default. Okay, so next one. So the dashboard stuff, as I was saying, it's really just on me and Christian and Andy to finish this one up. We've pretty much done everything. I've got a list of other tasks, more than these ones, but which is me to fix up some manifests so that we can sync them back in. So I won't go over that right now, but my goal is to cut that release today and then hopefully help the manifest team sync it in correctly. That's yeah. And then for Notebooks V1, as I was saying before, this is really just the updating server images. I won't do straight away, but it's just going to be cutting an RC. We'll cut once we've convinced once the main refactoring pane is in the dashboard one. So this is really just cutting a release and syncing it in, but it is changing in the manifest as well. So I guess anything I do for the dashboard will also be similar for notebooks. So I'm going to do them as two separate PRs into the manifest. So I think nothing. Anyone else got anything about notebooks V1 or V1 or dashboard? So we can move on to V2. Yeah. So getting this canonical one, I know we just talked about that with V1. So we'll if people have time. Yeah, I don't want to distract people. That's my problem. Yeah. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Okay. So V2. Charles wanted to talk about this. I'm going to move this to the top of this one instead. I think both of these are the FOSSA stuff we disabled temporarily, so haven't enabled it again yet. I'm just going to put this. So what was the thing you wanted to show, Charles?
Yes, so just like the volume management. So I can quickly show. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
Actually, yeah. How can I?
And you just...
Oh yeah. Okay. Is this the screen? Okay, yeah. So
so what are we looking at here, by the way? Is this is not the currently released thing?
No, this is my upcoming PRs, and as we were talking before, we're gonna split the home with the home directory, and we remove home directory into home volume and data volume section. And let's start with like the attach new volume. So how we're gonna create a new volume here? As similar to before, we have a name. This will check for like weird stuff. Like if you put a weird symbol like this and you hit create, it's gonna like say that okay, you can only have alphanumerical characters as well as hyphens in your name. And we have the storage class here that is basically this is the data from the API, just so that we can select a storage class here and access mode with some information here, because I think it would be super confusing to users if we just display just the access mode without any explanations. This actually, can you see the pop-up? Sometimes pop over, yeah. Sometimes it's like not visible to users when I share screen. So yes, this will explain like what each access mode is all about, and will also allow users to select like the volume size, something like this, and then this is collapsible, by the way, so similar to what we have in the secrets. And like what we discussed before, once there is a home volume, these buttons will be grayed out because home volume should realistically have only one should only have one row, right? For data volumes, similar view. So there's nothing exciting here. So if you add like attach new volume, same thing. Nothing crazy here. But on the attach view, this is where things get a little more interesting. So we are displaying the info here, and we are grouping them by access mode. So you see like read write many, and then read only many, read write once, and then at last we have the read write once pod. This is in accordance to our previous designs that we show in this meeting before. And we will show, like similarly to the secrets, what workspaces are connected to this PVC, as well as what pods are connected to this PVC. These are all mock data, by the way. This is not by no way by no way a representation of what we have in the API at the moment. I just used the mocks to make development a little bit easier. And we have more more labels here. Comparing to secrets, we have the size of the volumes, the storage class, the access mode, as well as whether it is used. This flag would be on if there is any connected workspace or any connected pod. So for example, I mark something that doesn't have anything like that, and any connected resources. Like so here, for example, this one will have no connected resources. It will show it like this. And if there is any connected resources or workspaces in pod and the user select it, it will show up. There's like a slight warning that this is used, and so we have to double check if this is a shareable place. And we have so when we have like the can mount is when the can mount is false, we will also we will also show that label here just to so that the user can like it's grayed out by the way. It's not showing super well on this, but yeah, it's just you cannot select this. And this is just another mock data that I have that's unmountable. I think the next step is probably to explain why something is unmountable, but that would have, I think that should be a good next step for both secrets and volume, not just for volume itself. And yeah, so the tooltip and the information icon here, similar to secrets, will have like what do we call this? Audit, right? The audit field, in the API return. And and if it's like read write once and read write once pod and it's in use, will and somehow is can mount is true, which usually is not very realistic, but I just have it so that like if can mount is true and it's already read write once or read write once pod, and it's mounted, we will display this like this has this access mode, and you should really be careful because it can fail. Just in case that there's some error in the API, we want to show it in the UI. So let's mount a few of them, and to get to I have some dedupe mechanism as well. So that like, for example, I was showing earlier at Red Hat. So for example, so we already mount these two as data volumes. Um, for example, like it would actually flag as already mounted. So you cannot mount it again as a home volume. So let's do something else. And then we also have mechanism to make sure the mount path is unique. So you can something similar it would spit back and say like, hey, that cannot be done. And I
Also, the
think
validation, just for validation, some of the validations are
yeah.
quite complex. And like
Mm-hmm.
what's valid is like paths and subpaths. Yeah, is it like so?
Yeah, we do. I think that is included in Jenny's work with the secrets improvement. I think she has some work on the validation path. Uh, I I,
Just
I
be
can't really
careful
speak to.
about
Yeah.
make it like yeah, it's certain things could be very surprising, but fine. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you
Yes.
can mount
Okay.
volumes
Okay.
within each other if you know what I'm saying. It's allowed.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, I will probably have to brainstorm on what to do with those edge cases. Um, but yeah, so far, if you collapse it, it's gonna say like, okay, this one has one volume persist, and yeah, some information here as well. So to explain what a home volume is and what a data volume is and how many has been mounted so far. And so I also make sure that it's all consistent. So if you reload this, yeah, they all look like kind of similar when it's empty. So yeah, I think that's all. That's everything I have to say. Similar to data, to not to secrets. These paths are, yeah, they are they are defaulted here unless you click on the pencil button, then it's editable. And then what else is there? If you attach, there would be no mount path here. It would just be the name of the PVC, like that. And then unless you'd added it here, and then yeah, I think that's it.
Um, I mean, I want to highlight that it's definitely getting there. There's some incorrect AP like I maybe I don't know if I don't know if you're using an out-of-date version of the Swagger spec or something as the base, but like there's some things that are definitely incorrect in the way that you're using the API because like it's just not how volumes work in a couple of cases. So I'll go through those in a second, but
Yeah.
because those do need to change. But Andy, do you want to say your comments?
Well, I might undercut one of them. Charles reached out to me explicitly. I was going to highlight this anyway. I do not know what it like. We only allow you to specify a single access mode, whereas technically that is an array. So the dashboard here is submitting that as an array. But I think it is very challenging for me today to explain why you would create a PVC with multiple access modes. And I think that results in a less good UX, giving people the ability to select multiple of them through our dashboard. I think if you're making a new PVC for notebooks, you should just choose one and keep it simple. But if you were going to raise other stuff, I wanted to just kind of like call that out, that I just think even though I know the spec supports multiple, it's a very, very complicated thing and not worth a data scientist. Like, let's just not even give them that choice.
So can you click attach existing one time for me?
Yeah.
This only has these two.
And
That's fine. So that's
yeah.
so that's fine. How we
Mhm.
group it is a separate discussion. Definitely grouping by access mode makes no sense because they literally can have multiple. So how would what do you even do when they can have multiple?
Then they appear in multiple places.
Interesting. Cool. Whatever. That's fine, I guess, in the short term. I don't love that long term, but fine, I guess. Okay. If you go create new under data, yeah. First off, attach new. I think it should be attach and create. You know what I mean? It says if it says attach, that's very strange.
We do. Yeah, we do
Like the
specify here.
primary
I just
action is
want to.
create here.
So in secrets, we have attached new secret. Like I just want to be consistent here. I can change
Oh,
to
it's okay.
create
Whatever.
new
That's fine.
volume too.
Click attach again
Yeah.
one more time. Sorry, the main part I wanted to get to. So the why is it expanded by default, the volume configuration section?
Yes.
Is the so the storage class when you drop down on it.
Yeah.
Also, read only doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh no, the problem is that you've got two. Okay, this is why. Okay, this is the reason why I was like a bit confused about this is because it's kind of strange that both are happening in the same step. Like
I was gonna ask about the read only field, whether I should really include it here because it is in the spec that for the volume mount to have a read only true or false. But I have no idea if this is still applicable or not because some of these already have read only access for.
where is it mounting to?
What do you mean?
Yeah, if this is creating and attaching, you haven't got a mount path.
The mount path is gonna be default to the slash data and then PVC name, which is the volume name here.
Why can't I customize it?
You can go here and you can go let me this, I think.
Yeah, okay.
You can totally do that by hit here and
I
you
guess you could do it
customize
that
it.
way, sure.
Yeah, because that's what we kind of talked about in the secrets one, right?
API. So when you click
I'm
create,
sorry, what?
when you click create, are you actually calling the create APIs? Like you're actually creating
Yes.
So the volume is actually created immediately in this context.
Yes.
Or PVC, not volume. Okay,
PVC, yes.
Andy, you've got your hand up.
Sorry, I meant to take it down.
Okay, sorry. Interesting. Okay. Go on. Okay, Christian. Yeah.
Do we also default the mount path for the home volume? Because that should be defaulted, not.
Yeah, we cannot. It's already hard coded somewhere, like in the
okay,
workspace
nice.
kind. I think the workspace kind.
Yeah, because that was what I was getting at. Really nice then.
Yeah. So here you cannot edit. You can edit because you can edit here because it's already hard coded there in the workspace kind. So you should not be able to set that
So click attach new there.
here.
On the drop down on the storage class,
Yes.
there is a description that can be. Is there a description on this one?
Right now I'm using it like a simple drop down, but I can use a menu as well to show. I think there is a description.
Yeah, I'm just checking what we updated it to in the end.
Yeah, there's the can use, which admittedly we said for this first alpha MVP, just don't worry about the can use piece yet. We'll get backend support in there, but there's a optional, right? They're annotations, so they might not exist, but display name and description, I think, are on storage class.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh yeah, there is a display name and the description. I can include that. This was just for like the first pass that I wanted to just display just the display name here.
Types. Yeah, because
Yeah.
using display name or name as well.
I think display name only right now.
I think what you'll need to do is fall back to the name as well if the display name is empty.
Yeah, that I think in the code I was writing was gonna be display name or name. So whichever is available.
And if it's an explicitly empty string, I don't know what we should do. But okay, so again, the storage class definitely seems, because the description here is for the admins. This is pretty important so that the admins can explain what the heck it is, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay, yeah, I can change pretty
So I don't know
easily.
what that would look like visually, but that's fine. Okay. I think
Probably
you should always
something
put the home.
similar.
So I think the
Huh?
attach path should be visible here. I just think like in the very short term, it's
The
very strange
attach
that it's not.
path.
Like not just in home, but if it's hard coded because it's home, sure. But if it's, you know what I mean, if it's data, it should also, why this doesn't make any sense why I can't, because it help if it's going to. I think that they should be grouped a little bit as well, right? So you know your read only situation. Like
Yeah.
So I think just open back attach. Yeah. So like it seems like it needs to be create, and then mount. You know what I mean? There should be a heading called create and a heading called mount. If it's so that it's very clear that both are happening. Or if someone disagrees, that's fine. Christian, yeah.
You don't have the workspace yet. Where you mounted it to?
No. What? No. I mean, we're doing this in the context of a create workspace, right? And
Yes.
You
so
are
if there
attaching.
is, I will I guess like the agreement that we were talking about with secrets is that we're gonna create this secret and we're gonna attach it. The API is gonna do that work at the very end, because right now there's nothing to attach to.
So
Because
sorry, let me
workspace is not
interject because
there
I
yet.
think you're talking about something different. I think Matthew's point here is if you go back to the list view, we're allowing you to edit a mount path, and then in this case, read-only access is just like a non-interactive string. I think all Matthew is saying is bring both of those fields into this modal in like a mount section, or I mean, name TBD, right? So it's like we're already fundamentally letting you create these values. You could just do that on the form to slurp back into the list, I think was the feedback.
Yeah. Is the secrets one on the latest version, by the way, if you roll down?
Yes.
If you open attach for that one?
Yeah, this does not
also
have
should
the
have
mount
the
path.
volume path as well. This should also have the mount path as well.
I thought that was supposed to be the case.
That it doesn't or does?
That was what does not. We when I think when Jenny was showing it 2 weeks or last week.
Oh, weird.
Like that was what we agreed on.
I didn't even consider that we wouldn't do it. Because actually my understanding, and I agree it's a bit confusing, was actually that the create new secret literally had no connection to the it didn't actually attach it. You know what I mean? I think probably the way I would structure this is it should be create, and then there should be a tick box which says attach, which is ticked by default.
Well, and so I'll kind of push back on that, Matthew, because we are fundamentally in the create workspace wizard here. I think it is kind of crazy to optimize for within creating a workspace, just randomly creating a
Sure.
secret that you're not going to use. Your point here is very valid to reuse these modals as we have a left-hand menu. Completely agree with that there. But I think if you're in create or edit wizard and you're creating new stuff, mount is implied there. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I think the mount path should be here. Christian, do you want to put your hand up? So you're putting your hand up. Sorry.
Yeah, so the point I wanted to get at was a little bit of a different one. I have two impressions, like just from a user thing that I might share. One is that the empty states seem like just kind of big to me. Like they take up a lot of space when you have no volume attached yet. And the filter list that you had to attach a pre-existing volume had a lot of information in that. So I think if we don't want to overwhelm users, we maybe need to, I don't know, iterate on that a little bit. The good thing is that it's really comprehensive, and I also think the information that it conveys is structured well, but there is just a lot of it there, especially comparing to what we had before. So I think just wanted to share that. I don't think we need to change any of this like immediately. We can just discuss different things in the future. Especially, I think also like Andy said, once we get separate menus and separate things to create a volume or something out of the creation of a workspace.
I definitely agree with the overwhelmingness. I wonder if we can hide the list of workspaces and pods in like if it's like a table-ish view that has like an expandable thing. I don't know.
That would not work in the drop down because a click just means select, right? You cannot.
Also,
how can you? Yeah.
Yeah, there's one other thing actually I just realized is that we're missing the like so the pod. The most interesting part about the pod is that we actually tell you which node it's on as well. So like so if the pod is running, we also need to tell you its state. So we tell you the state and the phase. We tell you the phase of the pod and we tell you the node that it is running on. That is bound to. So the API has some information that's not being sent to the user here.
But we were talking about the overwhelmingness of the
I'm not.
this view
I get
already.
it. I get what I'm saying. I just said what I'm saying is like.
I wish I could display everything, but it's just we have to
Usually
pick
it
and
won't
choose
have
at some point.
many things, to be clear.
Also, I think I can just test this a little more. Did you already raise a PR for it? Or is the PR up to date with what you're currently coding? Because then I can just click around a little bit.
I do only have that attached up. I just want to see if there are any major change before I continue down my path because I don't want to change it
Okay,
once
so the most
I have
important one.
so much code.
So the most important change that I do want to suggest we try and get in is the API that the backend returns. I'll just quickly share my screen for 2 seconds. Is that okay?
Yeah, you
is or can I link it? Not easily. Okay. If I override what you're doing. Okay. So like this is, if people can see, so the get persistent volume claims, which is what's populating that list one for the namespace, looks like this. So it's an array here of these elements. This is a single volume, this part here. So the two parts that are most important to the user is seeing, so these two are the ones that we already said can mount, can update, true or false. This
Are
one
you
here though.
sharing anything?
Oh, yes, and that works.
Hello? You can see me, right?
I can see you, but I can't see you if you're sharing.
Can other people see my screen?
Yes.
Oh.
Check on
I can
Zoom.
see it.
Click the
Oh,
top
okay,
part.
fine.
You might
Okay,
probably because
it's
I
showing
overwrote
now.
your share. Okay,
Yeah.
So this part. So I really want this information is this one. No question. P0 has to be in the first release, because it's like crazy if we don't put that one in. This one and so that's the most important. So that's the like, and the key parts about it are the state and state message for the workspace. It's like, okay, you're mounting one. Like, we're not going to tell you whether it's going to work or not, but we're going to tell you, hey, you're mounting one. You're mounting one that's to a thing that's already running. What are you doing? You know, like, who knows if it's going to work? But the
So, but if
how would we
we
display that? Is my question to you.
I guess we can display it to the user in the same view, but only show the workspaces and the pods that have the running state and not the ones that are like idle or something. Or we display it in the in a way that um we can nest some of that information in a tooltip. Like if you hover over a workspace, it would say have a green icon or something like that that was running. If it's like sleeping, there's have a different icon. But
I think we
yeah,
need to
that's
figure out how that UI is less overwhelming. But Kyle, did you have a comment about this? Sorry.
Yeah, I was actually that last comment of how do we make it less overwhelming. I mean, I think from a user standpoint, we should figure out what is the most important information. That's what you'd show. In the table, there's a couple of different ways you could do it. You show it the most important stuff in the drop down, and then once you've selected, then you can see the other possibly relevant information. Or we could do something different than a drop down.
I think it should be a table with a filter, personally. Right? Like a paginated table with a filter. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to make sure, and I think you have it in there already, Charles, the type ahead filtering, so that if I know what I want, I can just go find it immediately rather than scrolling through
yeah
15 pages of something. So I think that's the biggest issue that I would have with that. But yeah, I think there's probably other ways we can figure it out.
yeah we do have the type ahead that we can search for something that we want, and that hopefully would narrow things down by quite a bit.
I just think doing it in a dropdown is not going to scale well, given like there is so much information. Right now you're grouping by access mode, which is which access mode are you grouping by? PVC or PV?
The PVC actually,
This is a request, and this is what was actually given. So
whichever the API returns, like I'm not sure
both.
which one.
So the reason why this is called PVC spec is because this is like a request, and this is what was actually delivered once bound.
I'm grouping it by whichever the list one, whichever the list returns, which I don't have on top of my head. I can give it to you.
I think the thing you should group by is storage class, probably, if you're going to have any grouping at all. I don't see any, because that is going to be almost certainly equivalent to this in all cases. And then you can put the description of the storage class, even if you're in your dropdown, underneath for now, because the admin can put that information in there about what that means. Yeah, Christian.
Yeah, I think grouping by storage class makes more sense.
Yeah, don't group by access mode. Also, it's just completely like, it's very confusing, but also it's just like, it's completely unclear what it means to group by an array in this context. And also which array you're grouping by. You don't even have this one until it's bound, right? So as soon as I create it, this will not be there until I start the pod usually.
Yeah, and the access mode is also what confuses the people that I work with the most, that are not like, that don't have the Kubernetes background.
The one thing that's
That's
lacking
true.
is that we don't currently put the description anywhere. So like we get the description. Actually, for some reason, this is not here. No, that's PV. Sorry, whoops, it is here. So right now you would have to do a. Oh, where's the description edge? It's not actually in this one. Interesting. Okay,
I don't think there is one.
It actually is there. It's just not in this demonstration example. It actually. I just looked at the PR that Andy made. It is there. So that there's effectively a.
There's one for the storage class, but I'm not sure if there's one for the PVC list item.
Yeah, no, so I agree. It doesn't give you it in the PVC list item, no.
Right.
Which it would be helpful if it did, probably. Uh, it's probably fine if it doesn't, but the yeah, list storage class, you should already have done that call at least once, right? So
Yeah, you do.
I think it's probably easier if we
Grouping by storage class is not the big it's not a big deal. Like I can change that pretty easily. Makes things easier
yeah, and it's
actually.
also just less confusing because that means in almost all cases there'll only be one group then, you know. So most of the time
Yes.
it'll just be a description where then the admin storage class description will be there, which explains what it is, you know, like, oh, this is the NFS server, this is this is this, whatever it is, you know, like
Yes.
for their team. Okay, so we're kind of going quite over this. We need to probably stop now, but so what are the next steps here? I'm gonna go back to, so do you want to keep sharing or is there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I just nope, that's it for me. I
Okay,
want to actually I think that should be it.
the next steps, I think, on that one, let's just go back to this one. So, am I? Oh, I was sharing the right one, sorry. Okay, so, the, okay, so we've actually done all this. So I can remove that. Okay. So what I was trying to say was, okay, so in terms of getting this raised soon, the two
Yes.
pieces of feedback I think are, it needs to be clear that you're mounting and without in the attach and create an attach, and or at least requesting an attach. There's three feedbacks. Yes. First one is like, it's weird that the volume path isn't there. You know what I mean? I just is it hard to change that? Just like put it in there or not?
To create and attach.
Yeah, just like put the exact same modal structure as the.
Are you referring having an attach to be like a different action?
No, not even that. Even if we do it at the same time, like when you're doing the create and attach, just doing it the same as we do it for the attach existing. You know, like where there's an edit, it shows you what it's going to attach by default, and then you can click edit if you would like.
Yeah, I think it's already there. I'm just modeling what we have in the secrets, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
So
and we should also
yeah,
probably
yeah.
update the
So it's
secrets
like
one.
similar
Yeah,
action.
yeah.
So
It's typical. The secrets one should also be updated the same way, but we can do that after. Volumes are more important. The other one is, I don't know why it has a warning on detach secret, because a detach secret doesn't delete anything. And if it does, it shouldn't be.
There is? I don't think so.
You had like a warning, you have to type the name to detach, which doesn't really make much sense.
We just want them to I mean, right now, I think that's it. That is like the default action for secrets as well, which is, let me see.
Okay, we're gonna wait. That's fine. So that's my
Yeah,
next feedback.
it's just
there.
a confirmation, really. But
yeah, it can just be yes, no. It doesn't need to be a type. It's not a delete. You know, it can be like, are you sure you want to detach this one? Note, the volume will stay existing. It should actually warn you that, right?
I'm just thinking it should be a little bit.
We might even want a
to make it more
delete.
consistent, so that
I found this on the web.
God. So we want to be consistent between the deleting or detaching an attached volume and deleting a created volume, so that they're both similar, right? Because like if you want to delete a volume that you just created, which will trigger an API call, I think you should have a confirmation. We do have confirmation for deleting resources for everywhere else in the application, so I don't understand why.
I don't think it deletes right now.
Here. If you delete something that you just created, yes, it should call the API. Yeah, otherwise, you can just get create. Or otherwise, you're just gonna create a bunch of like PVC and then have nothing to mount on it. if you click
I think
cancel.
the point we're getting at here is that the same behavior should be applied for the same actions, but in this case, just detaching something is not the same action as deleting something. So I think in order to give the user a consistent user experience, then like we should not have like a big stop button or like type this here explicitly if they just want to detach something. But in any case, I don't think that's something that's too troublesome. So we can just fix it up later.
So is it
Yes.
deleting the PVC right now?
If you hit the delete for a PVC that you created, yes.
What do you mean? If I mounted an existing one, what happens when I
No,
click
no, no, no.
detach?
If you're mounting a new one.
But it gets created immediately. I click create, and the
Yes.
millisecond I've done that, an API call has gone out to Kubernetes, and the PVC now
Yes.
exists.
Yes.
It's now might as well have been one that I mounted an existing then at that point. So like there's two distinct actions now that I am saying. Like there needs to be two
I
things on the dropdown.
understand.
One called delete PVC and one called detach. And detach should just be done fine. Warning. It probably should put a warning saying, hey, you realize this PVC still exists. Just like you didn't actually delete it. But detach should not delete. Like that is
No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like if you are detaching or delete, if you want to detach a PVC that you just created, that should have a delete. No,
not
you just
not
created
currently.
one.
No, not currently. It doesn't matter. It's if an API call has gone out to Kubernetes that has caused a PVC to now exist, it should not delete.
So in theory, if the user wants or accidentally they don't know what they're doing, they create a bunch of PVCs and they just detach. Those PVCs will just be hanging there. Is that what I'm hearing? Because I
that's
can
also
make that
kind of
happen.
why I intended them to be different actions, but you know what I mean. Like
I think for me, the more thing that I would expect it to do is to only create the PVC when I launch the workspace. But that's a totally different behavior. So we might want
that's
to talk
future,
about.
definitely future. Yes, there'll be a planned screen. But anyway, so we're getting over time. Anyway, so all I'm saying is feedback there is please for now decouple the word detach and delete and have no bearing on whether you created it or not in the previous flow.
That would have to do with secrets as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So are we
Both. That's like a
changing
bug.
both of them?
That's a bug in my mind. Like the word detach should never delete anything on the cluster. That's so dangerous. It's just not. That's insane behavior from our perspective. Like that shouldn't happen. Like the word delete should be used if we're deleting something. And if it's ambiguous, then it shouldn't be ambiguous, right? Is what I'm trying to say. Right? Call both. If you want to have an option where you can't delete ones that you mounted existing, that's fine too. But gray out a delete button then. You know, like just have the button be both. Okay. Anyway, so other than that, the other part that I don't know what the best way to display it is, and we should have a discussion about what we can get in the next week, obviously, is what are we going to do with how we're going to visualize the workspaces that are mounting it, and it's not about whether they're running or not. Just like for now, just show the information. Like that's the most important thing. We like say like because there'll be a list of pods and a list of workspaces. The pods will include the list of workspace pods as well if they're there. So you should expect the pod to be running if the workspace state is running. So I think I would probably group it by, like from a user perspective, they don't care about the pods or anything. They just care about, can I use this volume, right? So just give them enough information that someone who knows what they're doing could figure it out. And then eventually we can help automate it for the user, you know, that's all. So I don't know how to visualize that, but just try and put the most important information is the mounted workspaces, because most of the time that's going to be it. And then have a warning which says there are other pods which are mounting this, right? That's kind of what I would.
We do have that at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. So like, you know, because like
so I guess like what is the most important information that you want to show here? Because I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to overwhelm what is already overwhelming. So if we want to simplify it, how do you think what is the most important thing to show here?
So
Because if I was the user, I would be like you said before, I would be interested in seeing the connected workspaces or the connected pods that are currently running that has a running state. So
I
because
think
that's a dangerous
potentially,
behavior.
so the most important place to see it is going to be once it's in these ones are attached view. So like there should be a warning on any one that is mounted on multiple workspaces, or would be after you finish creating this workspace. You know what I mean? So like that's where the warning about workspaces should be. If you want, you can exclude the works. If you want, this pods will include all workspaces. So you might just want to list all the pods, right? And then have a wave over to see their node and state initially. In the selector view. Anyway, let's keep. So we should probably continue feedback separately.
Sorry, just as concrete feedback to try to give Charles something to do in the short term, and then maybe this is a bad idea, right? But can we just go with in the drop down, right? Because I completely realize it is very challenging to get all of this rendered in the drop down itself. Could we just go with an in-use pill in the drop down? Then as you go back to the actual attach screen, if it is in use, that's your warning, and there's just like a flyover or click to pop up behavior that then shows all of this stuff in detail.
Okay, I agree. Actually, the in-use like warning, it should just be like the row should only be one row if preferable. You know what I mean? Like that one set of things. Like I think you showed that makes sense. And then there should just be a wave over, which similar to how we have the redirects warning wave over. It should probably just it should be grouped by workspaces first and then other pods. You know what I mean? Like there should be a section in the pop-up which says workspaces. There's just this list, and then each of them can have their own states internally. Because then you've kind of got, I know it's too many layers of nesting, but it just removes it from users who don't know. And then the most important thing, 100% Andy, you're right, is it currently in use, right? Like, and it's like, it doesn't care. I don't care if it's in use by a pod or a workspace. And then it's like, what does that, when the user's like, what does that mean? I can then wave over it and then see the pop-up. I think that's the cleanest way to do it. And it kind of just solves this problem for the first release. Do we agree, Charles?
Oh, so just to summarize, like, so
Yes.
we are showing in the drop down, not all the information, it's just saying
Not
it's
show
in
any of
use
the
or not.
pods or workspaces at all. Zero. Unless it's
Zero, so
there
nothing
is a
there, but
non-empty
then
list under either of these. Then we show another pill, which is a warning pill, which says
to
this
say
is
in use, yes.
Yes,
Yeah, we do have that. So, but then in order to show what is in use, we do kind of
You
like an
wave over it.
expandable table or
No, you just wave
like
over that warning pill, right?
on the table
No.
or
On
on
the selecting PVC view.
Oh, okay.
And
A
now this is
tooltip,
where I'm
okay.
coming back to the fact that maybe the way that it's currently structured is a bit messy to have a popover in a popover, but you know.
So yeah, I was even saying in the short term, actually, that popover actually, it's you only see in use, you select it from the drop down, and then once you're back in that table view of it being selected, that's where you can wave over to get all the details.
That's
It's
what I
kind of
was, yeah. So yeah, I think what Andy is trying to, well,
Actually, that's
I
fine.
hate taking too much time, but
Even before you get back to the attached list table, you can show it we're in a modal still. We're in a popover modal. You can just put it underneath the you can put a warning that appears when you're selecting one that's in use, and then you wave over that to see the list. And then it could be the exact same modal pop-up as the one you see in the attached view. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like before you even close out and finish creating, attaching.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I understand what's going on, but yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I'll
So
try
don't do
to
the
go
double.
with it for a little bit,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And so then the other change we were saying, definitely you need to group by storage
The
class.
storage class.
Yes.
That I can do that there. Yep. That's less ambiguous for me. Yes.
Yes. And then the one issue you're going to have is that if a PVC exists and has been mounted, you will have this section. And if it only has just been created and never actually bound, sorry, I mean not mounted, but bound, you will only have this section. You will always have this section though. So you should group by this one, is what I'm saying. And don't try and assume that this information will be here. We should do this information for you, probably. You know
So
what I mean?
far, so far I'm using the PVC spec. Yeah, so that makes sense.
There is a very weird edge case where these could actually become different, but just for now it's fine just to group them by that. And then if you want the display name for this, you should do a separate API call to get the display name for this. Okay, we're very much over time. I'm sorry, we need to. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyone else got anything oh my god. Okay, what have we got in terms of next steps for V2? Okay, so that most of the stuff is this front end stuff, absolutely, right? With
Well, I will say, like, it's we need to get that back end. Like, all Charles's enhancements are great, but they really don't mean diddly if we don't have the back end API merged. Yeah.
Yep, that's true. To actually this dashboard, whoops. To get it's looking great though, everyone. I'm very excited. So I'll make sure we get the list to you exactly of the things that we need in the order of priority as well for changes. But Charles. So this one is the one. So these are the front end updates. We got down to this one. It's the one we're up to here. So I think I don't know if we've done anything on the priority 3, Polo.
We have, well, the blocked by, we have the workspace update API PR raised. Yeah. So yeah.
And then this, but how easy is it to just drop that summary on the left-hand side of the
Yeah, no, I mean, I divided. Can you hear me well? Just to make sure. Okay, so I divided the priority tree in 2 issues. I'm working on the first one, which is related to the cards view that we discussed about graying out hidden options and browning out the redirected ones. And then the second part will be working on the summary on the right-hand side. So this will also include removing the left-hand summary section and adding the right-hand sidebar with the old and new information. I hope to have the first one, the first PR raised until Monday, so I can get some review and we can discuss on Tuesday final adjustments to be able to merge by Tuesday. And the other one I hope to discuss on next community meeting on Thursday, so we can get it merged until next week as well. So this will be the whole priority tree.
Okay, and this one's actually on the property step, whereas the rest are on the selector steps. I forgot about this.
Yeah, the second part includes the left hand. The first part is just the visual separation topic there.
Yep. That makes sense.
That I'm working on right now. Yeah, the rest.
Anything
is
blocking you here? Are you good?
No, I'm good at this point.
Okay, cool. And I think the icons and stuff, that's me and Andy may or may not get that in because you're just calling the API anyway. So is that right?
Yeah, I think Charles worked on it, so if he could give an update about the front end, but I think it's merged. Oh, it's ready for review, right, Charles?
Again, we need it just because we still eventually need to sort out the whole Swagger.version bit. So it's like we really need the back end merged first to let the front end go forward. So it's referencing a valid commit that exists on the repo. We'll fix the life cycling of that after we get this initial alpha out. But yeah, so we'll just need to get the back end merged, and then Charles's stuff is really not even. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
It doesn't even break anything right now because all of our example workspace kinds don't use the config map one anyway. So I don't even think that's why this is not a top priority thing on this list. Like, so just confirming, does the front end right now correctly embed the external URL based logos and icons? It does, right? Even on the master branch.
We know it does because we tested this with Akram's PR, I think, right? So you get like beautiful colored pictures in tilt. So yeah, so the Charles's front end PR is nice, but it's really just like being a good netizen and caching and not like hitting stuff. So it's, you know what I mean? It's like we definitely want it, but
so
it doesn't
like can be merged before we do the config map one then.
No, because I think he's using our new endpoints though.
Yeah, I do use an endpoint for is this stateful set or something like for the files?
Actually, how do you determine caching for the ones that are external files?
Just by the URL. Like if the URL is, we're caching by URL. So let's say like a bunch of different workspace kinds or workspaces are pointing to the same page on Wikipedia or something. We cache the URL and then point it to the binary.
Yeah, it's absolute versus relative.
Yeah.
Config map ones will always be relative returned.
Maps,
So what I'm saying is we should try and cache our default ones are going to spam Wikipedia otherwise. That's what I'm just trying to say, right? I think I don't want them getting angry at us. Okay.
But yeah, Charles is saying they cache on that value. So if
but they don't do that
500
right now.
workspaces are using the same one, that's all going to hit the same cache key.
But right now his PR is dependent on the config map one being merged first, is what you're saying, even
Yes.
though it doesn't actually need it to fix that part for the URL relative ones.
Yes, I mean, you'll get some like browser level caching there, as well. It might not be the most intelligent, but there is some level of browser caching if it's truly the exact same thing.
Okay, we should check that later. Okay, Christian, what else have you got here? We need
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that I want to give a big +1 regarding the redirect highlight work that you did, and that we got it in already. I left some review there, and not all of that was we could address in time because there's so much stuff to work on, but just really a good job on that part.
Everyone, great job, I agree. Everyone's doing amazing work. Thank you for highlighting it. Okay, so now in terms of things that are not... Okay, so for that, like, we can just... We'll see if that gets it or not. Okay, we'll see if that gets it or not. It's fine if it doesn't. Okay, so that's why it's priority 4. And the display name is not going to... This is probably not going to get it. Okay, unless anyone's working on it. Is anyone actually currently working on this? I think, Andy, you actually did update the workspace workspace API to do this, right? Backend.
Yeah, sorry. PR is raised there. Christian had given some very, very valid feedback. That's what I get for rushing with. And I think I actually addressed that and hardened a couple other things as he made me take a second look at it. So I won't say it's ready to merge, but it's got through one round of review that definitely hardened and improved the code. Yes.
And then the front end obviously needs to then integrate with that once it exists. I assume no one's trying to implement with it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. No one's working on that, right? Just checking on the front end.
Yeah, no one's working. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Because if that PR changes, that's bad. Okay. So then, so yeah, the manifest, I'm a little bit worried about this one, obviously, if it ends up being more complicated than we thought. We do need to enable the auth. That is critical, actually. We've done this one already. Okay, the docs about this. Did we end up writing anything, Christian, for this one?
Not yet. No.
Okay. And the warning GA banner, we also need to check that in. Okay. So the rest of it's pretty okay, and these ones are pretty important as well, actually, just getting these ones in. Do we have PRs for these ones? These ones that would
update secret I do not have. I'm hoping by next week I can actually focus on some of this stuff, and maybe this weekend I'll try to sneak some of that in. But the first two, absolutely.
Are they done already is what I mean, or are they just PR'd? Or?
I mean, PRs are raised, yeah.
Let's link those. Okay. Yeah.
I feel like regarding the backend stuff, we also need to kind of merge the things that we already have, because I think there's quite a bit of backlog piling.
Yes, we need to review some, but yes. I don't know which. So the one that needs to be done first is the ones that are blocking this stuff. But these two are critical so that we don't actually just do nothing in the real world. That's silly. The product isn't. These two have to be done as well. That's why they're blockers, right? So again, they don't need to be perfect. They just need to actually call the Kubernetes API. So I think let me just link those PRs for this one. So we have update workspace. Word update. That one. Workspace. And I assume the update screen, we probably need to do some run-throughs of that as well, but okay. And then not this one. Actually, no, this.
Yeah, it is that PVC one, yeah.
Okay, that is. And then the secret one, is there any?
There's not a PR for that right now.
That one's the simplest, that one, I think, because that's literally just changing one line in that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I forget why we singled out update.
Update or was it create?
Does create probably, if we're going to do anything, it probably should be create. Yes.
Does create exist though, or
no? Not. I mean, there's stubs for all of these, but not full blown implementations.
I mean, it's pretty much the same for that one. No, I think create does exist, is what I'm saying. Oh, no, maybe it doesn't. This one actually for
no, it doesn't. They're all. It's all mocked.
Okay, cool. And update you can't update PVC. Okay, so that's why it's different. Okay, cool. Yeah. Any other things? So I don't want to keep going. We're 15 minutes over. So is there anything else blocking our release? Has anyone got anything they've been working on they want to talk about? We're down to a lot of people who left because they left already. But okay. So we've got a lot. Does everyone know what they're working on? I guess I know we've got a lot. Me and Andy to review and merge that is going to unblock people, and cutting the release of the dashboard and Notebooks v1. Anyone going once? Going twice? Thanks everyone. Let's. This is the last week we've got for the V2, so I'm excited. It's yeah. Everyone, please reach out if you need feedback on anything, even if it's not, in the next few days, please. Thank you.